These new Mario movies just don't have enough sexy club scenes. Hi, everybody. I'm Amy Newman.
And I am Chris Carr, and we are two filthy casuals.
And we know that getting into a new fandom can be intimidating.
Ugh, especially with all the gatekeepers.
All the gatekeepers of this one.
And there are a lot. There is a lot of negativity around that one, and we are changing it today.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. That's why on this podcast, we love to invite a super fan on, and that way they can talk to you about why they love something, and you can dip your toe into a fandom sans judgment. And today, we've got a fantastic guest joining us. All right, you know him from his podcast, Earthling Entertainment, which is the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture. You can catch it every week along with his co-host, Ryan Lang. Today, joining us, we've got Joe Wakefield. Hi, Joe.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
We're super, super stoked about this. One, it's been a minute since we've had a guest.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I love your show. I really like chatting with you, so I'm really pumped about the conversation we're going to have today.
And see, what a topic.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh my gosh.
I'm ready. Let's dive in.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
Super
think-
Mario Brothers 93?
I don't think I was emotionally prepared for someone to pitch this topic.
Yes.
Full disclosure, I did text Chris. I was like, I just want to make sure I'm watching the right movie. I'm just going to double, triple check this with you before I dig this up on the Internet Archives.
Yeah, it's a hot take to say the least. I know. I've always said that, and I say this jokingly, but I am half serious, that the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie is the greatest cinematic achievement of that generation.
Hell yes.
Okay.
That's
This
the
is a
kind of
hill
hard
I will
stance
die
want.
on.
Yes.
Granted,
Oh.
I went to film school, and when everyone's pitching all these Scorsese films, I'm like, well, hold on, guys. Hold
Godfather's fine, but
Yeah.
If
But,
we want to talk cinema.
on. Yeah, Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jenke. I always get her name last. It's Jenkel. I always screw it up.
Oh.
Anyways, that team did a wonderful job making that movie, even though there was problems. Like, I'm not going to lie. The whole movie did kind of fall apart, but then it was formed into something that was transcendent.
Okay, well, take us back to just like first time you ever saw this movie. Where did you watch it in 93 when this came out? Was this something that came to you later on in life?
Yeah. So, the funny thing is, when this movie came out, I was a little younger and I had no idea it was even a flop. Like, I wasn't in any kind of trade at that point. I was a little kid watching a movie. And my first impression of this film was watching it with my sister and my mother, and it was just a family movie night. Maybe it was because they liked it so much. I loved Mario, and in particular, the Goombas. There is a scene in this film where these big hulking guys with their small heads that are supposed to be the mushroom and turtles from the game, that they start dancing in the elevator because John Leguizamo is lightly swaying them back and forth. And then after a while, they turn and they start actually doing some kind of little waltz box dance. And then later on the film, we even have King Koopa, the Goombas are dancing again. I cracked up forever. The Goombas are dancing again is something I've said my entire life to random people.
Has anyone ever caught the reference?
Yes, but they usually catch it with a facial expression of Mario.
Surely I'm wrong here, but
Oh man,
Wow.
I did have to go on YouTube and I watched this broken up into I think 32 different parts because someone uploaded it in 4.5-minute chunks.
Oh, nice.
I caught it, and I don't know how legal this is, so don't. Shout out to Internet Archive that kind of has everything.
Okay.
It kind of has everything. Legal, who's to say? But I got
Depends on the country it's from.
Sure. I got the extended cut that would have random
Ooh.
clips. Have you seen this, Joe? It has random sections where you can tell this is kind of just the raw footage that someone found and clipped in where it would go in the movies. So props to whoever was like, you know what? We need the full as intended director's cut on the internet. That's all I was able to find.
That's incredible.
It was
though.
a wild
What a
experience.
find.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that actually has about 20 minutes of extra footage altogether. There's another de-evolution scene. There's a weird rap with the two cousins that happens in the club that wasn't in the original film. So yeah, I was so happy when I found that, and I was really hoping that they would release it. And I'm recently told that I have a copy of this that Umbrella released in 2024.
Ooh.
Oh,
And they said there's an extended version in there, but I don't know if it's the same one because I just discovered this today because I've just put it in and watched the traditional one. Didn't check out the special features. I'm like, I know all this. There's another cut of the film on there. I didn't even
Wow.
know.
So you are claiming that that was not you who edited that together? Because I have my doubts.
Oh man, if I had access to like things that weren't released, I would be releasing the Kevin Bacon Tremors TV show that Sci-Fi produced but never released. So, you know, I
Mhm.
would maybe the Roger Corman Fantastic Four, but you can get a hold of that one. So,
yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
Man, give me that Tremors TV show instead of Dune 3. God, that's all I want. I know
we
that's
gotta keep
unpopular, but
we got to keep going with Dune long enough to get the giant worm god, which eventually the son of the main character has and turns into a giant worm god. I digress. This is getting a little too down a rabbit hole. Back to the rabbit hole at hand.
yeah,
Yes.
we're going to go back down this pipeline.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So, how did this movie come to be?
Well, you got to remember when this film came out. So it was obviously released in 1993. And what was popular around that time was 1989's Batman and 1990's Ninja Turtles. Both films based on a property that was perceived to be for children, but was was reimagined into a more adult theme. And if you put yourself in that mindset of the executives at the time, why wouldn't this weird kiddie version of Mario work in the same context? I mean, it's not any stranger than giant turtles fighting robot ninjas and things like that, right? I mean, it's all around the same lines.
Another one I saw referenced where I was like, oh, I see the vision now was Ghostbusters. Of that,
Yes.
like kind of walking that line between it's sort of silly and supernatural, but there's darker elements. It's like I see how they thought they might be doing the next Ghostbusters here in terms of popularity.
I'd say so, especially since they even referred to it a few times as that we need a Bill Murray type in this film. We need a Bill Murray type. I don't know who is translated into that Bill Murray type, whether they thought Dennis Hopper as King Koopa was Bill Murray or Bob Hopkins as Mario, but I didn't see that translation.
The Yoshi real dinosaur. Who knows? Who knows what the vision was?
That dinosaur is where I go, that's Bill Murray.
That's what his agent was pitching.
Yeah. Well, at least they didn't have them like eating people and pooping out egg versions of them. I would love to see that in live action. And I say, if it was possible in 93, we would have got it. It was a weird
Yoshi,
movie.
I mean, there is a sequence in this where Yoshi tries to eat someone and gets stabbed. And I did not like watching Yoshi get stabbed. I'm gonna not to shit on something you love, but that was a no, my friend.
Was this your first time ever watching this?
I had seen clips of it, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what I expected. I don't know how to prepare someone for.
Yeah.
It's bold. There's a lot to like here.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I see the vision. I see what the vision was here.
I had so much fun rewatching
Yeah.
it because of that.
It's a trip.
We were talking about this before we started filming too. You weren't cooked yet when this movie came out.
I mean, I was.
You were like a year old.
Yeah.
You were fresh.
Don't make it easy for them to do the math. Chris.
That's why I said you weren't cooked yet. You know?
she's trying to help me keep up the lie.
I was 6. And so this movie was so cool to me because also I was watching the TV show at the time. You
Right.
know, I loved Mario. I had my Super Nintendo system and everything. And rewatching it, it is just so like deliciously weird.
Yeah.
It's so fun, and I feel like watching it, a lot of it too, genuinely was like, man, film executives are kind of cowards now.
True, they don't make them like this anymore, for better or worse. They don't
took
take
some
swings like
swings.
this. Yeah.
They
Exactly.
did. What are some favorites for you?
In the film in general?
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone talks about the references from the game, and there's so many more than you guys even realize. So everyone knows about the bomb. You know, we got the little guy, he twists, he walks. We've seen that. Everyone gets that one. But what about little things like Big Bertha? Big Bertha is the big red fish in the video games. Well, in the movie, she was a woman in the club with the spiky red dress. Her name was Big Bertha. That was a no, I shouldn't say direct. That was an adaptation of the game. And there is so much more then you realize that they adapted. Little things that they couldn't fit in, they even hid in the background. Like the Hammer Brothers, the two guys who jump from platform to platform, throwing the hammers as Mario tries to get up there and get on their head. Well, in the background of Dino Hatton, there actually is a tattoo shop called the Hammer Brothers Tattoo Shop right there. And there was a sign for the Womp, which was the block that falls down and smashes Mario.
Yeah.
So I just love how many of these references were in there. And some of them are pretty subtle. You might not notice at first glance, but in Koopa's office, the walls, the texture of the walls, it kind of looks like a sound booth. They're cones. They're like silver cones. And that is the actual background you see when you're in the castle in the video game. It's all those silvery cones, the exact same visual representation. Even the end of the film, what happens? You fight King Koopa on a bridge with fire. It is exactly like the movie, with the exception of the de-evolution guns, which, were super scopes for Super Nintendo. So they even product placed a toy in there, just like Mario Galaxy, by the way, with Rod. Just saying, that robot, that's a piece of equipment that was sold as a Mario product.
Wow.
So
So they're thinking we're making Ghostbusters, we're making Ninja Turtles, we're making, et cetera, et cetera. This movie went through a lot of iteration, or like a lot of that pre-production, like it was going to be this team, it was going to be that team. How did we kind of end up where we did here?
So it was kind of a push and pull between producers and Nintendo of America having some of their own decisions where, the producers had some of their own visions. They were kind of on board, except like casting choices. For instance, Hoffman. Dennis Hoffman was actually going to play Mario, but Nintendo said, no, we really don't want Hoffman. I don't think he's the Mario I envision, when that was the head of Nintendo America. Then Danny DeVito was also in line to play Mario and actually almost even directed the film. And that fell through when he wasn't happy with the script. Tom Hanks was interested in playing Mario, but he wanted $5 million of the $40 million budget. So we know how that goes. I mean,
I'm
that
sorry.
kind of
You're going to put Danny DeVito in a Mario cinematic universe and he's not Wario? Fuck off with that. First of all.
I agree, but
I can't. I can't. I shan't.
This is 93. This is before Wario existed. All we had was Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, the original Donkey Kong, and then I think there may have been some other stuff, but that was it. So we didn't really have much to go on. Like the lore at that time was, save the princess. Like
He's a plumber.
Yeah. That was really it, I mean, the reason why he was a plumber initially was just because they needed a reason to give him overalls and a mustache, just because you needed to see the features of the little pixelated guy. It's like, why is he a plumber? He's a plumber.
That's just any Italian in my experience.
I
Women
mean,
included. Listen, I
yeah,
know that,
well, just mustaches and little little suits. I get it.
If a plumber shows up to my house to fix something and he doesn't have a mustache, I'm like, I'm about to get scammed. You can go home.
I'm going to report him to the Better Business Bureau.
As you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any proper Italian plumber, mustache.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And I could say that because I am Italian. Well, so Wakefield doesn't count. My mom's name is Trotto. So I actually am legitimately Italian. Thank you.
Same.
Thank you, Chris Carr.
We're Denisius
on
my sign. Yeah. We're here. We're here.
Yeah. So how this kind of fell apart was interesting. So the original screenplay was written by the same guy who wrote The Rain Man. And long story short, he didn't want to compromise his vision when all these changes were made. So he left. All in all, I think there was 10 writers, and it got all the way up to shooting. And then when they started shooting, the original script that everyone signed up for apparently was too dark, and Nintendo wanted it to be funner. So they started doing these last minute changes, that so much so that the cast and crew stopped reading the sides until they were on set that day because they didn't know what they were shooting. The the directors weren't happy with the forced upon them script, and apparently were kind of very direct on the movie set, to the point where it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and very focused on their vision, which was not the vision that they were getting paid to make, kind of like the Solo movie. And yeah, so the changes kind of screwed a lot of things up. They had to shoot on sets that weren't finished because it changed the shooting order because of the drastic changes to the script, so much so that they were shooting in certain directions. Their shots were dictated by, well, we can't show that unfinished part of the set. So there was a lot of chaos that went on. The 20-minute extended cut is the stuff they filmed that didn't make it, but they also had like pages upon pages. This is what came with the movie set. It is hundreds of pages, 400 pages, I don't know, and it's all the different versions of the script in all its iterations.
400.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's a smaller size, so I can't really say if this is page to page, but it looks like a full, quarter side to me or half side to
Oh
me.
yeah,
So
that's
Wow.
Courier. We got it.
yeah, yeah. So, what happened is the New York Times actually gets on set while it's shooting, and this is during all the chaos. Dennis Hopper was being interviewed, and they asked him or they mentioned that the directors weren't going to answer any questions, and Dennis Hopper, and this might not be exact quote, was basically like, "Good, that's the smartest thing I've heard them do this entire time. Don't ask any questions." Bob Hopkins apparently had two times where he almost died, one being electrocuted, and one being when a pipe burst and he got flooded, and the crew had to pull him out there.
What a
Apparently,
Mario way to go, though.
Yeah.
Short of
imagine.
getting,
Oh my
I mean,
God.
it wouldn't have been funny. It would have been a tragedy, but my God.
But yeah.
Short
mean,
of
you
like
it'd
getting
be right up there with
stomped on by
Brendan Lee
a...
and the Crow.
Yes. Oh my God.
Good Lord.
Oh.
Ooh. And yeah, it was a mess from the outside
Yeah.
looking in. Sounds like a lot of fun to me, but everybody who was quoted on this New York Times article just kind of tore it apart. Everyone's like, the directors don't know what they're doing. We don't know what we're doing. The scripts are everywhere. It's all crap. So New York
And this
Times,
is, well, they're making the movie. This is before anything's come out, anything's like Katherine
yeah.
Heigl could never talk this much shit on a project. She wishes.
Well, it was before the internet, so maybe they were just kind of like, oh, we can say whatever we want. Who knows when this get printed? I don't know. I
Better
shouldn't say it's
days.
before the internet, but it's before it was widespread.
Yeah.
And okay, so the article comes out, and what happens next is horrible. So the directors get locked out of the editing room completely, and their agency drops them, come 100%. No other agency will touch them. And eventually, the movie does come out. So when it comes out, by the way, couple things. Do you know who a Patrick Tatopoulos is?
No.
No.
So if you ever seen the show Face Off, he was one of the judges for a lot of those seasons, but he did all the special effects. And there was a lot more like dinosaur-y people makeup than we actually saw in the final film.
Oh.
So yeah, I just want to do a shout out to him because I just really like effects guys. We've had two on the show, our show, and I'm fascinated by the whole process.
Oh,
It's a shame you
absolutely.
didn't get to
So
see
cool.
all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the Super Mario Brothers movie opened in the United States in May 28th, 1993, and the opening weekend it only made 8 million at 8.53. So obviously not very good. All in all, over its whole run, it made just under 21 million. Now, the original budget, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it kept getting inflated. I don't know. It went from like 30 to 48 ultimately. So that's another reason why they were very mad at the directors is you delivered a movie we didn't want. The Times says horrible things. You went way over budget. The actors, literally, John Leguizamo and Bob Hopkins, have said in interviews that they got completely drunk every single day just to make it through the shooting day and kind of like had fun seeing if they can maintain drunk through the whole day.
Jesus.
See,
it is a legitimate way to work, Chris.
I was
It can
just
be.
gonna say. I was like, wait a second. We might be onto something here.
Oh man. And yeah, what happened is they got all these scraps of different movies, of different tones, of different visions, and still somehow put together this film that does work beginning, middle, and end. Is there pacing issues? Sure. Is there effects issues? It's 93. We're not Jurassic Park. Sure. But my God, was that just a most enjoyable film? And it's part of what wanted to make me a filmmaker. I am 100% serious that when I saw it, it was just the idea of someone's interpretation being that wild and that fun. And I just thought of like, how could I create something like this? I looked at it and I was like, okay, this downtown, even as a kid, because I was like 6 as well, I'm like, this downtown is inside. Like they make it look like it's night, but I can tell this is inside.
Yeah.
Come to find out, it was shot in a cement factory. The same cement factory, by the way, that they shot the Ninja Turtles Foot Clan hideout in the Ninja Turtles film. So very awesome cement factory, I might say.
And
Ooh.
a storied cement factory.
Sought
Yeah.
after.
Do you think there's a version of this movie that had a clearer vision, that had like that went smoother in production that you would like as much? Or do you think the chaos is part of the charm?
It's so hard to tell because it went through so many changes and so many hands were in the soup, so to speak, that I don't know what it would taste like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I have some ideas because of the scripts I've read of what could be. But I am a product of my generation. I like the adult oriented kid film. I mean, if you remember right, they did that with everything and they did it backwards too. Like RoboCop was rated R. It was a hard R, but there was a kid's cartoon and a bunch of toys. I mean, I don't know. I guess it was just more of a back and forth when it came to IP back then. And
Yeah.
I enjoy the juxtaposition, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, that club scene. I was like, that's what Mario's been missing. These new Mario movies just don't have enough sexy club scenes. They don't have enough. Look, I watched this movie and I definitively, in my heart of hearts, know that Mario bones. You know what I mean? Like, I know that Mario smashes,
100%.
lays
Yeah.
pipe, if you will. And that's good. And that's important to me. And I don't like that Chris Pratt's Mario feels a little asexual to me.
Oh, he doesn't have a penis.
No, I don't. I think
Yeah.
you're right.
He's not even slanging like when we had the Mario tennis and we saw Luigi.
Nothing under those
No.
overalls.
No.
Yeah, well, it's just he had 2 movies and he still hasn't made a move on the princess. And I'm not saying, you just do that if it's unwanted, but they seem like they're into each other. You could at least ask her out on a date nicely.
She's sending vibes.
something.
She's sending
That's what I'm
vibes.
saying.
So
Yeah,
you're
maybe
never
the
gonna
next
know
one.
unless you ask, and that's how we get obsession. Okay.
Mm,
So
that's true. Yeah,
Gotta
that's true.
jump in there.
That movie really made me uncomfortable. The parts where she was lucid, it was like, oh God. Like in my head, I've always said, if I had the power to make any girl love me, would I do it? And I always said no, because I would never know if it was real. So
Correct
that part of the
answer.
film scared the crap out of me. I
Yeah,
was like,
oh, yeah.
"Ooh." That's when it feels like we're doing something against someone's will, and I get grossed out.
Yes.
boom, and everyone on the internet. That's the takeaway.
Well, that's what this takeaway's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's how you should feel. Everyone who's like, man, she should have just gone out with him. I'm like, what do you mean? What?
He never asked her out.
Tried. Oh, oh my gosh. Well,
Ugh.
just kind of piggybacking off what Amy asked too, when you read through the scripts, especially that kind of original version from the creator of Rain Man, I mean, was this kind of a thing where it felt like this is a Mario who's counting cards, or did it feel like its own little story? Because we have crazy stuff like this all the time. I mean, this year one of my favorite movies is Sheep Detectives, and it's written by the
yes.
same person who did Chernobyl, and Last of Us. Like, people contain multitudes, so
Maybe he
was-
needed a break. All that death is kind of
Yeah,
hard. We'll just kill Hugh
exactly.
Jackman once, not a whole town of people.
exactly. And so was this kind of one of those things, reading that version, where it was like, oh, this feels very much like a Mario movie. This feels like maybe a little bit of brightness and respite for this writer, or did it feel like that kind of dark, moody tone that you were alluding to earlier?
Well, most of them did kind of feel more adult and dark and moody.
Okay.
That never really changed. What changed was like the amount of corny jokes throughout the scripts. They came
Sweet.
and went. But the tone was always meant to be like a serious take on it. And that first writer, the one who wrote Rain Man, he, maybe it was because he was like he got the Oscar or whatever, but he wrote this Mario like Rain Man. Like one of the Marios was really like analytical, the other one was kind of goofy, and Mario and Luigi. It was a weird take. And pretty quickly they were like, we're not going to go with this. And he's like, no, I am an artist. I am moving on. All right, fair enough. Not your vision. I get it. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the guy won an Oscar, right? Just let him,
Sure.
Yeah.
you do you. You don't
Wild
need
to make
me.
your follow-up Super Mario Brothers, though. We're like,
But hear me
like,
out. Money.
So true.
nailed it.
So true, bestie. Uh, so if someone hasn't seen this movie, because here's the thing, I feel like, again, the new Mario movies that came out, there's an element of, I don't know, man, you've played a Mario game, you can kind of assume what this movie's about. I would say not so much with this one. What what is the plot of this movie?
Well, way back when
Yeah.
the dinosaurs were around, the meteor that
Classic
killed all
place
the
to start.
dinosaurs. Yeah. The meteor that killed the dinosaurs hit the Earth and split it into two dimensions. One where monkeys evolved into us, and another where for some reason, all the dinosaurs stayed, and they evolved for some reason into mammal-looking creatures like us. And they look exactly like us, but they are from lizards. That is a very important distinction. Because later on in the movie, when they punish people, they de-evolve them, and that's why they take on lizardy characteristics. While at the end, when Spakeli gets de-evolved, he turns into a monkey. Anyways, so way back, I guess it would be 70s or 80s because this movie takes place in 93. Daisy, the princess, who is from the alternate dimension with the dinosaurs, is smuggled out of her dimension and brought to New York and left on the porch of a church. And she, at this point, is an egg. The nuns grab it, they open it up. Oh man, it's an egg. The egg hatches, it's a baby. It's like, oh, it's very weird tone, but it sets up the movie perfectly for what you're into.
I'm going to be so honest. I popped a gummy and immediately was like, am I too high? Am I not high enough? I really don't know the answer right now, but this was not where I thought we were starting.
Exactly.
I knew where I needed to be, and I got there right away.
Excellent. I assume everyone who wrote it was the same way. So as this movie continues, it jumps to present day, and we meet Super Mario Brothers, who of course are plumbers, and they're doing their thing. Eventually, they come across a dig site where Daisy, who is now an adult, works as, I guess, an archaeologist. She's digging up bones, and she might be an anthropologist, if you will. And what happened is her site gets flooded by Spakeli, the Mario Brothers arch plumbing nemesis. So
Naturally.
So after that, Mario and Luigi go there to try to fix it. Simultaneously, Princess Daisy gets kidnapped by two goons of King Koopa who are coming from back from their dinosaur dimension. And when they take her away into the new dimension, Mario and Luigi follow, and our adventure unfolds on this alternate world where it seems to be mostly desert on the whole planet, except for one city called Dino Hatton, which is a weird Blade Runner take on New York, which was all recorded in a cement factory, like I mentioned. So it's got this very contained feeling, like there's levels of the city, almost like a video game or something. You know what I mean? How I imagine the Star Wars 50/50 video game would have been. That's too much.
It does feel very platformy in its execution, where you just feel like you could side scroll at any moment.
I liked that world a lot. Like,
Yeah.
I think that was the moment the movie won me over when we got to Dino Hat, and I was like, you know what? This kind of rocks.
Yeah, I'm totally in.
This kind of slaps.
It reminded me of something like an industrial mall almost, because while all these buildings and stores felt very much like a contained thing. Have you seen the film Silo or the show Silo?
Yes.
Almost
It's so
like
good.
that. Yeah. So it just had this very interesting feel to it.
It's a great, weird, blendy aesthetic. Like it like so much of this movie, there is if I really tried to break this down and explain it, I don't know what's happening. But if I just let it happen, it works.
Yeah.
It's
Let
fun.
it flow over you.
Just let
It's
it
all
just
good.
just try to find your correct level of inebriation and let the movie happen to you.
Mhm.
That's really all you can do.
Well, see, that's how I feel about the Neverending Story series, because the first one is only the first 100 pages of the book. Then the second film is nothing like the book. They just kind of did their own thing, and it was directed by the guy who did all the Mad Maxes. And then the third one came out in the 90s, straight to video. They got all new puppets, so everyone looked different. And for some reason, Jack Black was in it as the main enemy, who was a leader of a gang called the Nasties. So, 90s did some stuff.
We were just letting anybody direct anything these days,
Listen.
weren't we?
In the 90s, we were just like, "Ugh, listen, all of us got through doing lots of cocaine in the 80s. Now we have kids. We're letting them free range run everywhere. They can watch whatever they want. They can do whatever they want.
Latchkey.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our entertainment, I feel really, really reflected it of just like, I mean, we might as well do that too.
Yeah.
You know?
It's good.
Shit got weird.
Well, anyways, just so I can jump back to the plot, Princess Daisy, when she was a kid and she was put into New York, she had a crystal around her neck. That crystal actually is a piece of the meteorite that hit that planet, broke it into two parts, and King Koopa wants that crystal so he can put it back in the meteorite and blend the two planets back together and take over our world. That is the overall story. Super Mario and Luigi save the day. Nailed it.
Boom.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Right on.
I would have taken 3 times as long to try to explain.
Well, you gotta just go with it, like you said. There's so many fun elements there. Like because King Koopa has that de-evolved machine where he punishes people that way, he got the former king and de-evolved him to the point where he was literally fungus, and that fungus grew like those vines that climb everything all over the city, and there's just these mushrooms and fungus everywhere, and that's why we call it the Mushroom Kingdom. Every one of these little things from the game, they found a way to make sense. I mean, think about that. You have a game that is complete nonsense. There's turtles, there's flying ships, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on. And someone sat down and they're like, okay, how? And I would argue that they did it. Was it a great adaptation from the game? No, but it's almost a direct adaptation, just different.
Yeah.
I mean, it at least does do that thing where it's like, if I don't catch every single reference, we talk a lot about how do you strike that balance, where if I'm a diehard fan, I'm having that extra level of fun of, oh, that's supposed to be that. That's a reference to that. But if I'm coming in and I'm maybe not catching every single reference, I don't want to say you don't feel lost, because again, there's a lot going on in this movie, but it doesn't feel like, oh, I had to have played every single. You could not have played a Mario game, and this movie would just be equally weird and fun for you. Yeah, sure, why not?
You don't feel bad or like a casual watching this because you don't have to have had that. You don't
We're
have to do
all a little confused, man.
Yeah.
It's just the movie.
And it's so nice to hear everyone making it was too.
Yeah.
Every step of the way, they kept pivoting. They were like Paramount with how reactionary they were. It was ridiculous.
If all of us are confused, are any of us confused?
No. There we go.
That's what I posit to you.
Now, why Daisy?
Because she's also Peach, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so no, she's not Princess Peach. She is Princess Daisy. And I don't actually know why they chose Daisy instead of Peach. Daisy's yellow, Peach is pink. I don't want to assume here, but in my head canon, Peach always went with Mario and Daisy dated Luigi. I don't know if I've never talked to any official Nintendo person. I have a buddy named Andy Cash who's obsessed with Mario, not just the movie, but all Mario, and I'll check with him. We'll get back to you guys on that one, but that was my interpretation. Why did they pick her?
As far as we know,
Keys
never went in bowls. That's we don't.
They're not the Lannisters. The brothers don't swing together.
No,
you know?
No.
I mean, you wouldn't know from the new one, like you said. He's pretty much asexual.
Yeah.
Geez, there's so many things. The one criticism, if I was to have one criticism about this film, and I know what you're thinking, how could you have one? I'll tell you. We waited until the third act to put them in green and red overalls. I feel like if that was their work clothes, they could have wore it through the whole movie and it wouldn't have been weird. It wouldn't have been forced.
Yeah.
No.
Seeing them in their little like Miami Vice suits was very confusing. Like as a child, it didn't bother me, but on this rewatch, I was like, what is why? Why do we have that as our
that
outfit?
whole first act feels like they're trying for a level of realism that's just like, we don't have it. We can, we don't need to do the charade.
Yeah.
Put them in their little overalls. Let's go.
Imagine trying to act in a film where you don't know the tone and you don't wait, so if you change the pages today, does that mean last night didn't matter? Like, am I supposed to be happy, mad? What's going on here? Am I cracking a joke or did my girlfriend just get stolen? I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
It genuinely is surprising to see how it came together with all of it being this chaotic. Because you do watch films today that don't have that much confusion and don't have that much kind of like, we're not all on the same page. Like House of Gucci comes to mind, where you watch it and go, every actor in this movie is in a different movie. They're all in a different film.
I forgot that movie existed.
That
Just dug that one out of, oh no, I did watch that.
those
They had
Italian
some looks.
accents live in my head rent free of just like, what is everyone doing? What is this?
Time to take out the trash. And then you cut to her in an interview like, I was shaking. I vomited
I was
after
gonna
I
say,
recorded that scene. And you're
I-
like, Stephanie, no.
It's upsetting when you go to a talk back with those people and go, ew, why is Jared Leto the normal one in this group? Ew.
Yeah, I'll give you that
Ah.
one. Yeah.
But it really is honestly a testament to that editor. And I think this is why people overlook the importance of it so often. Movies are made or completely fall apart in the editing bay because of them getting those choices, them picking out the shots, them putting that cohesion together. And it's really, really crazy to hear how many problems this movie had. I just assumed it was people were like, why are those Goombas' heads so tiny?
Think of it this way: the Goombas with the small round heads were the mushrooms. The ones with the elongated beaks were the turtles. See, it's all translated from the games. Every little bit, even the things you don't think about.
I was just going to say, to your point, like, the fact that this movie did come together as something with a, like, coherent beginning, middle, and end is somewhat impressive now, knowing what we know. That's
Yeah, I
just
mean, you might
fascinating.
not like it, but it is a movie. It is a
It
movie
is a movie.
that makes sense for the most part. Like in that world, in the rules it sets up, it makes sense.
Credit to one poet of our generation, Harry Styles. It feels like a movie.
Now, if you look at the new Super Mario movies that have come out, the animated
Boo,
films,
sexless Mario. Hate him.
how do those compare for you? I know it's very apples and oranges because we're in different mediums and everything, but like as somebody who's such a diehard fan of this version of Mario, how did you feel about those?
Honestly, you have to take them as two completely different beasts because it's not only the fact that they're different mediums and they're different takes, to say the least. There's also like not really 50, but 50 games between the two movies of added lore. And I feel like it would be harder to make a Mario movie make sense now than it was back then, even with how insane it was back then. I like the first one better. I did like how they did a lot of the little visual gags. They showed a lot of the stuff from the game. And it did feel like, okay, you're trying to make a Mario movie. Up until about Act 3, I thought Donkey Kong was a bit forced. Clearly, you're trying to set up spin-offs. Whatever, I'll let it go. But then when we get to the second one, somehow there's even less plot. And you really forced Star Fox in there, which I like Star Fox, but I get it. You want a cinematic universe. Everyone wants a cinematic universe. Okay, fine. It wasn't bad. The second one more so than the first had no plot. It was just like things happen. Like, okay, I'm in, I guess. I mean, I enjoy the sounds. I enjoy the visuals. I don't know why we got Donald Glover to play Yoshi. Is it just to get another name? Because you probably paid way more money to Donald Glover than you needed to just go Yoshi. See, I could do Yoshi. There you go.
Yeah.
Give me $20. I'll do it. Sorry.
$20 on a crafty sandwich, baby. I'm in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. For
100%.
one line, it's fine. Go down to
Fine.
Burbank, speak at a mic. We're good.
Yeah. Nailed it.
But that is interesting because now, like, I grew up with an era of Mario games where it is like, I know who Princess Daisy is. I know that's Luigi's girlfriend. I know, like, they're even just the nature of what a video game looks like has changed so much that now we have lore on these characters. We have backstory on these characters that everybody knows, I think, in a different way than the games we were dealing with trying to make this movie. So I think it is at least easier to make something like there's an obvious one-to-one of like, how do you translate this into a movie? Well, you kind of just blow up the narrative parts of the games.
Yeah.
Versus back then where it was like, we just don't have that much to go on. Like it was just a really different challenge, I think.
It's almost easier to make things up to fit around obstacles. Like, okay, we need to write in a turtle guy. We need to write in this or write in that versus, okay, so this has a whole 50-hour story
Yeah.
How do we put this in an hour and a half movie? Well, when it comes to Mario Galaxy, they just decided not to.
Sure.
Yeah.
They did their own
Yep.
thing.
What do you think, had this movie been more successful, how do you think that would change the landscape of kind of Mario in a Nintendo in popular culture?
Well, he would obviously, what's popular is what sells. Money is king. So if it was popular, it did amazing, then the games would definitely have started reflecting the movie more so than, vice versa. And also, we would have had sequels. And I can guarantee we would have had at least three movies because the first one does good enough. They're going to make a second one. Even if the second one underperforms, if it does well enough, they'll try for a third. That one probably flops and they're done.
Yeah.
There actually is an official, I shouldn't say official, a fan made, it was one of the original writers, a fan made comic book that was only online that came out, and it is the direct sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie,
Wow.
the 1993. And it picks up directly where the cliffhanger left off, where Daisy comes in with a gun. Mario, Luigi, beep, went down. I loved it. It was great. I don't know if that would have been the way they would have went because it was like 10, 20 years later. However, it was, like I said, one of the original writers, one of the original like 10 people who touched this movie. So once again, really hard to tell where it would have went.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
Same kind of thing here with video game movie adaptations in general, because we always have talked about the movie game curse when it comes to adapting this IP. And so many people feel that things like, The Last of Us really lifted that, where we started going, oh, this gritty video game, we can turn this into a gritty television show, or we can have this movie, or that kind of thing. Do you think if people were on board with this would have also changed how we would have looked at adaptations in general?
I don't think it would have changed how we looked at adaptations. I think it would have resulted in more adaptations. How some people say there's superhero fatigue right now. And I love how James Gunn just says, no, it's just they're not great movies. I like that take. Well,
Yeah.
it would have been the same thing. If video game movies kept hitting 100%, then we would have definitely got a Sonic Hedgehog movie in the 90s. He was at the peak of his popularity. So I don't know if it would have been animated or if they would have just tried to do I kind of hope they would do a prosthetic. Can you imagine how horrifying it would be if they got a little person with prosthetics and made a Sonic movie?
We
Because
would
I
have
imagine
done
that's-
that.
We would have. It'd be like that guy in The Witcher, but blue.
Ooh, I like it. I was thinking it would be like almost like because I don't know if Warwick Davis would do it, but in my head, that size of a person as Sonic, that would be an amazing film. How
Mark
would you
Davis
do it?
would be great yelling, gotta go fast.
I would
I
like
love
to
that guy.
see it. Definitely.
We were robbed.
But the 90s, they did take a little bit more swings. And like you mentioned earlier, I do like the random ideas that people threw around. Like it just felt like, for instance, Sam Raimi makes Evil Dead. He gets a little goofier with Evil Dead 2. By the time we get to like the mid 90s, he's like, all right, I'm just going to see how silly I can get this where people are still going to come in. And it just, that's what I like. I like when we get to Tremors 7 and we're like, we're on an island now. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Fast and the Furious movies holding it down like they can go to space now.
Exactly.
You know what?
Yeah. I steal a Blu-ray player. I go to space.
They're
They're 1-to-1.
one to one.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the natural progression of things. Well,
See, this
Joe-
is why I didn't amount to anything. I didn't steal Blu-ray players when I was in my street racing phase.
Mm.
You gotta do it.
Hindsight 2020, man.
If there is somebody who's like, I have never watched this movie, I plan to never watch this movie, what would be your kind of pitch to go, listen, I think this is worth your time? How would you get somebody on board with watching this movie today?
Well, I would throw it at him that if you don't care, then watch it. It's entertaining. I mean, anyone who is a diehard Mario fan is gonna, I shouldn't say anyone, but most people might find things that they nitpick, they don't like. I think if you are a sci-fi fan or if you're a fantasy fan and you pitch it like that, where you're like, hey, this is kind of a retro futuristic feel with a little bit of like Ghostbusters with the same time of like the 1989 Batman, but it's seen through the lens of early Mario characters. And you look at it as like an examination of how you can adapt a property. I think it would be fascinating. I think there should be classes in film school about it. And maybe the teacher's take would be, this is how you don't do it. But still, getting from A to B to C to D to whatever. It is a fascinating journey.
And I would sell him with two simple words. Mario fucks.
Yeah.
It's
Have you
implied.
considered? It's implied, but it's there. It's heavily implied.
It is. Well, even his girlfriend who gets kidnapped, even she was a saucy looking person.
What's her name? Daniela or whatever? I was like,
Yeah.
okay, Mario
Sweet
pulls, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how much money you make plumbing or if he's packing, but he's whatever he's selling, they're buying.
Porque no los
So that's all I'm saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was an episode of Just Shoot Me one time where I don't remember every character, but they walked up to the window and they're looking out and they're worried because a coworker who is a nerd that they don't like, I believe it was the David Spade character, apparently had a very large member. So throughout the episode, they're all jealous, but then it turns out that he is just not charismatic and can't pick up anybody. And, at the end, the characters go up and they're like, it's a tale as old as time. Great product, terrible salesman. And we just move on. That's how you get balance in the world.
Yeah, truly.
It's apparently how David Spade balances, I guess, too. He just kind of leans forward.
I'm not sure about that man's personal life. I'm not sure about all of his acting choices, but I will say I am unashamedly a fan of Joe Dirt. So
Joe Dirt cinema.
yeah, beyond Joe Dirt, and I guess Tommy Boy Black Sheep, but that's still on a different. That's more of a Chris Farley thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, how do we get on this?
It's the tagline for this podcast, my man.
Yeah.
How'd we get here? Well, anything else you want to share? I'm excited. I'm excited this movie is getting the champion it deserves in you, Joe. So please, if you have anything else you want to say to the people.
I spend every moment I can, partially because I get such big reactions of how much people hate this movie that I'm like, this is the hill I'll die on. And it's not just for show. I really do love this movie. I love every aspect of it, both personally from when I was a kid and what it meant to me, to as a filmmaker of how strange of a take it is, all the way to what it actually is as far as the end product is concerned, a fun adventure that is nothing like anything else that you're gonna see. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
If that's not cinema, if film isn't supposed to create an emotion in you, to stir you in some way, this one took me on an adventure. This one made me believe in a more magical place, even if it was a strange, rundown, post-apocalyptic city where there's tiny little dinosaurs. It took me on a journey. I think you need to go on a journey as well.
Yes.
There you go. I mean, we talk a lot about make a swing big enough that someone's going to love it and someone's going to hate it.
Yeah.
None of this, everybody goes, it's okay, bullshit.
It's fine.
I'm over it.
It's a movie.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It is a movie.
It is. That's a film.
Yeah.
That's a capital F film right there, baby.
Cinema.
Cinema. Well,
I sometimes worry because as a person who works in the industry, everything I love tends to be a flop, and I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be a hard sell when I'm trying to get the financiers.
just don't come in swinging with this is gonna be the next Super Mario Brothers. And I
figure
fine.
if I just do it cheap enough, I'll be all right. Right? Look, I know it's ridiculous, but I only need a mil. Maybe I'll get lucky.
Yeah. No Donald Glover required. We'd love it if we could get him, but
we already know you can handle it.
Yeah.
Similarly, I've been told that I have the taste of someone who's like, that movie's a fart in the bag, but I loved it.
Well, you know what movie is really good that I know your husband would agree with me is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh my gosh, he's going to clip this out himself.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, someone agrees with me.
All right. Now, just real quick with that one, while it doesn't compare to the other Indiana Joneses, it compares very well to its being its own self-contained adventure. And I've always loved Aliens. Our podcast is half paranormal. So when it comes to Aliens, I'm in. It's not great that alien aspect wasn't in the best movie, but I liked it. Oh, excuse me. Extra dimensional beings, so to speak.
Exactly. There we go. And if you're looking at all the Indiana Jones films as like the product of the time they're supposed to represent, it's a pulp sci-fi film.
Yeah.
That's what its point was. But speaking of how much you enjoy the extraterrestrial, why don't we plug your podcast and anything else you've got going on?
I co-host with my buddy Ryan the Earthling Entertainment Podcast, which is the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture. Every week we talk about cryptids, hauntings, myths, legends. We have UFO footage, the government dump with all the UFO stuff. We analyze some of those videos. And then in the middle, we have our pop culture section, which we cover all genre news that we can. And lately, especially, we have a celebrity guest interview. And we have that come out every Thursday. Only the last 15 episodes have been on YouTube as video. Before that, we had like 130 that were audio only. And I spent many years building that up. And then YouTube came and we're like, oh, starting over. So if you haven't already, come over to YouTube, subscribe, and check us out. It's a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Go give that a listen. You can also find us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. We are on YouTube.
We are.
People.
We just hit 1,000 subscribers.
Thank you so much for that.
That's very
And
fun.
half the comments were people going, this is on YouTube? Like, yeah, no, I say it every week. I don't know why you don't listen. I don't know why you don't listen when I talk. I don't know why. Yeah, it's a podcast. That's all there is to do.
She didn't make a joke about YouTube, so I forgot about it. That's maybe it.
Just make a little fart noise next time.
There we
I don't
go.
know what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow us on social media at Two Filthy Casuals Pod. And you can always find us over on our Patreon. If you like what you hear and you want to support the show, you want to get a few more episodes every single month, become a Filthiest Casual at patreon.com/Two Filthy Casuals Pod.
Yeah, and you actually should. I joined the $5 tier, and it is fantastic. So thank you guys for that.
Oh my gosh,
Hell
thank you for being a
yes.
Filthiest Casual.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think that's all.
That's all we got right now.
Joe,
Cool.
thank you so much for being here. Thank you
No
so much
worries.
for listening or watching. And
Yeah.
until next time, I'm Amy Newman.
I'm Chris Carr.
And if you followed this fandom, you'd be home by now.
So we know that Mario fucks, but does Luigi?
Are you
I feel like
kidding
he's
me?
a cockle.
Are you kidding?
I feel like he's in the
Whoa.
corner watching. I don't know. I just get that feeling. Yeah.
Stop, Pod.